Good afternoon, coolest coast. It is time for Coffee on the Coast, and we have cats. Good afternoon. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. Delighted to welcome back Kate Casey. And Kate, who is this adorable little friend joining in?
I have BB here with me today. Her full name is Bastet, but we just call her BB. That's her government name, you know. So she's hanging out with me. Normally she's pretty feisty, but you can see she's very happy to cuddle today. So we got a treat.
She's so lovely. And man, I think probably all viewers join me in wishing that they could be petting her right now. Look at how soft she looks. Okay, so you mentioned her government name. Does she also have like a Jellicle name? You know,
Jellicle name?
Cats in the...
I mean, just like Whaler. I mean, she... sassy, like horrible. I mean,
her little eyes are so cute.
Yeah.
Well, it's perfect that she's joining you because we are talking about Cats on Mats. And I just want to pull this up because Cats on Mats is happening Wednesday, October 18th at 6 p.m. And registration is required. And I know you've done this before and it fills up so fast. So what do you want people to know about registering and how soon they should do it?
So registration opens this Friday at 5 p.m. So generally I recommend these days that people actually set like a whole alarm on their phone. Like don't mess around, like set a calendar reminder for yourself. Because I know, oh, there she goes. I know, I know that like for me personally, I can't remember anything if it's not written down. And my phone is like my Bible at this point where it keeps me on the right track. And it can fill up in a matter of hours. Like I'm talking 3 hours or less. Oh. So I think that's our current record. I'm hoping that because we're opening registration on a Friday, that people... only our real dedicated folks are going to get on there right away. And so it'll give other people a little bit more chance to register because it does always fill up. I mean, every time. So if you can set a reminder and then all you have to do is go onto the Manitowoc Public Library page. There she is. Look, she's going to get in trouble. You just go on the events page and there's a link right there. And it, I don't know, it takes like 2 seconds to register. Very easy, very fast. But you have to remember to do it. Otherwise, it fills up. We only have 20 spots, I think, and then 5 spots on our waiting list. So it is very limited space.
Gotcha. And I feel like BB is perfectly demonstrating what might happen at a Cats on Mats experience, right? So cats really, they just have minds of their own. They're going to do what they want to do. And so it might be, you know, futzing around by you when you're on your mat. It might be jumping on your back if you're in downward dog or something, but it might just be exploring the room and around.
Yeah, just look, she looks like she's going to just settle in. She's going to hang out there for the rest of our interview. She's going to look outside. There's a window there that she can look out. But yeah, I mean, that's what I like about Cats on Mats is you kind of never know what you're going to get. So first of all, we bring all of the cats over from the Lakeshore Humane Society. So typically, all the cats that are present at our program are adoptable. There are a few and far between where someone is like not quite ready to be adopted. They're still being fostered. They're still maybe working through some health issues. But almost all of them, almost every single time, are adoptable cats. And I never quite know what they're going to bring for us. So sometimes it's all adults. Sometimes it's all kittens. Sometimes it's a mix. Sometimes it's 10 or 12 cats. Sometimes it's 20 cats. Like I really never know who's going to be available to come over and hang out with us. And then you're right, because we never know like how old they're going to be. You know, each cat has its own personality. When we let them loose in the room, every single class has its own energy and its own experience. So sometimes the cats are really super playful. Sometimes they're a little bit more cautious. Sometimes they're just like, I don't know, just, I want to say like hell on wheels, right? But like it just, they can be really challenging and interesting to interact with. And I think it's the reason why I like it is because it's a good metaphor for life, because you never really know. Anytime you walk into a room, who's going to be there, what their opinion of anything is going to be, how they're going to act. And so when we practice with that level of uncertainty in a safe environment where we're at the library. These are just cats. They're not going to get you. Nothing bad is going to happen. Then when you move into other spaces in your life where there's a little bit more challenge, you're like, okay, I've already kind of been in challenging situations. This is not so bad. I can sit and be quiet and listen and figure out what my next move is and interact with other people or animals in the room conscientiously, compassionately, and it's my favorite class to teach. I just love it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love that philosophy, and I never really thought about that, about how the experience can then be extrapolated out to other experiences in life. That's beautiful. And I feel like too that there's a lot we can possibly learn from the cats, and how they go through the room and how they experience it, even like the way they stretch, right? Like I pulled up a couple of pictures. Look at this. Like, doesn't that stretch just look so delicious?
And you know what is so funny? It's so funny to me that you choose this pose, because this pose, we have this same pose in yoga, okay? This exact pose. And it's sometimes called like melting heart pose. So Anahatasana yoga is taught in Sanskrit, which is a language kind of like Latin. It exists, but no one speaks it conversationally anymore. So it's named like melting heart pose, but colloquially, it is called puppy dog pose. So it is so funny to me that when we pull this pose out, that it's always pictures of cats doing it, not dogs.
That is funny. Well, so what about this? I suppose it's not exactly a yoga pose, but it was so cute. I just
Yeah. Well, I teach, there is a cat pose and a cow pose, and they're taught together typically. One has spinal flexion, so you make like a scaredy cat, like a scaredy Halloween cat shape.
Yeah.
And then cow pose, you lift your face up, and I always describe it as you're not necessarily throwing your head back, but you're lifting it towards the sun, just like this little guy here. So you're lifting it, feeling the sun on your face, just getting nice spinal extension through your cervical spine.
I love it. Okay, I've got one more. What do you think this cat pose is?
Oh my God. Trying to think.
Just like thread the needle or something.
Yeah, it's like thread the needle, but like laying down. Yeah, it actually is. It does look like thread the needle. That's so funny.
So what's funny is before the show, Kate, I looked up yoga and cats, and I thought there would at least be some stock images that came up of like cats by a yoga mat or by their practitioner. Hundreds of dogs with their, with somebody practicing yoga on a mat came up, and zero of cats. So that's why I just found these poses.
Yeah, it's so cute. And I do always laugh at that, because they say that, dogs are a man's best friend, right? Which, like, I love dogs too, but I always tell people, I'm like, when's the last time you spent at least 60 minutes on your hands and knees, face to face with your dog? Like, the energy there is very different than the energy right over here. So for me, this is kind of where I'm at. For others, maybe it's more high energy. I teach at Waves Yoga Studio. Every once in a while, we do have like a puppies and poses kind of dog yoga, but you will not find me there. This is my space.
I love that BB has perfectly positioned herself to be a prop during this show. It's
just
fantastic.
Hanging out.
Hey, we do have a question that came in from Tim. He wants to know, is there any chance that any of the cats that are on hand might turn into that classic old school Halloween witch during this specific session of Cats on Mats?
I do have a thought that would be amazing. I don't ever call LHS to make like special requests or anything. Any of the cats they want to bring to us, I always accept. But wouldn't it be cool one day to do like an all black cats class, right? That would be cool and spooky. And I know they're really hard. Black cats are very difficult to adopt out because people are superstitious. But so maybe we'll have some black cats with us, and maybe they'll be a little spooky during class. But I am planning on theming this class. It's going to be October 18th. So I think that's like, I don't know, just before Halloween. I am planning on theming this with Halloween poses. So I'll put on, I have like some spooky, scary kind of music, but it's light. Don't worry. It's nothing, we're not playing the soundtrack to, Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything like that is not happening. We're going to do something light and fun, like more like spooky, scary skeletons.
Oh, cute.
Then full psycho or something. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And then my Halloween sequence has poses like the scaredy Halloween cat pose. I have like a vampire pose. Downward facing dog is like downward facing hellhound. There's like a lot of different things that are a little spooky. So it's all your familiar yoga poses, and I just rename them to give it more of a seasonal theme. I teach it once a year. So I love teaching it. If you like Halloween, if you like spooky stuff, you want to get a little movement in your day, you like cats. I mean, this hits all of those.
It like checks all the boxes. It's perfect. Yeah, I love it. So October 18th, Cats on Mats with Kate Casey at the Manitowoc Public Library, but pre-registration is required. It opens this Friday.
Yes.
What's interesting is one of the previous classes that you taught was full, but one of my mom's friends said she still went and was able to like observe and hang out with the cats, and she ended up adopting one of the cats after. So it really is a great way for someone to like, mix in and make the acquaintance of a cat and perhaps make it their forever home.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Yes, of course. If there's time at the end, normally I encourage people to come in, take photos if they want. But as long as they keep the energy level low, so that's one of the things we talk about in class is that animals and cats in general respond better if we keep the energy level a little bit low. So we can't come in and even though we want to, I am one of them, want to come in and scream and get so excited and like scoop them up right away. They're strangers. They've never met you before. It would be really scary if you walked into a room and somebody screamed at you and like scooped you up into a big hug and you didn't know them. So we have
totally
to
change your trajectory, totally like moved where you were going. Yeah,
spooky. So we have to show the same amount of dignity and respect to the animals that we're with. So as long as we're calm, cool, collected, I'm always willing to have people come in and say hi. So that warms my heart to hear that she was able to come in and find someone that now is a member of her household.
I love it. Okay, so this class, 20 people total. What do they need to bring? What are the details? Should they be bringing mats? Should they tell us everything?
Yes. So if it's possible, I do recommend bringing a yoga mat. However, if you do not already own one, please do not go out and buy one. You do not need to. If you don't already have a yoga mat, if you have like a big beach towel or a big blanket, that's totally fine. You just want a little something that's going to cover the area of carpet because we're going to be sitting on it, putting our hands and knees. At some point, we're going to lay down. So you just want to have like a nice, something clean from your house that you can lay down on and put your face on and not worry about like whose foot was here last, right? If you have sensitive knees, I recommend bringing an extra blanket just so you have a little bit of extra cushion. But other than that, it's just, clothing that you can move in and a like can-do attitude. So, there's no experience required. I structure these classes so that anyone with any ability, any bodily function, anything like that can come and practice with us without feeling like it's overwhelming or scary or you're being asked to do too much. Or you just don't understand what's happening. I go very slowly. We explain everything. And it's just to the best of your ability. So if we move through a pose and you're like, you know what, that's like pinching in a weird way, I don't like it, stop doing it. That's it. It's not a big deal. Nothing's going to happen. The yoga police are not going to come for you. They don't exist.
Okay, good. There's no
such thing. So I'm not going to be calling them. Don't worry about it.
Well, I love it. So it sounds like even if somebody has never practiced yoga before, but maybe has been interested and has not known maybe how to start or where to start, this might be the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, it really is. I love it because it is like an intro to yoga. The stakes are low. There's no pressure of sometimes studio environments can be really intimidating to walk into. I've been practicing for 20 years. I've been teaching for 10. And every time I go to a new studio, there's still a little bit of anxiety there. You're still like, I don't know what this space is going to be like. I don't know what the teachers are going to be like. I don't know how the students are going to receive me as a new person walking into quote unquote their space. So there can be a level of intimidation with a studio environment, but what I like about this class is it doesn't exist, right? It's a public space. It's just the library. Not to say that it's just the library. I love the library. But it's a place that everybody has equal access to, right? And it's a fun class, so you don't have to feel like you're there to accomplish anything. You're just there to have a good time.
Yeah. October 18th, because it's so close to Halloween, you've got a fun Halloween-themed sequence planned. There are going to be live cats in the mix coming over from Lakeshore Humane Society. What a cool way to spend an evening.
It's my favorite. I'm so looking forward to it.
Is there anything else you think we should let people know?
Yes. The one other thing is that we do accept donations for the Humane Society while we are in the space together. So whether that's monetary, I usually bring like a little jar, and if you've got some change in your wallet, you can toss it in there. Or if you are like me and you have, you know, maybe kitty litter on Subscribe and Save, and maybe it comes a little like too
often,
a little too often. It's like not enough for you to change it, but like every once in a while you have extra in your house. So if you're like me and you have a little bit extra, maybe you could bring some of that. LHS always has a list of their highly desirable items that they wish to receive, depending on what season of the year it is and what their needs are based on who they're currently housing. But anything you want to bring, we are willing to take as donations. And then I usually bring it over like in the next day or so over to LHS. So I will take care of lugging it over there for you if you just don't ever get on that side of town or anything like that. So that would be the main thing that I also want people to know, is that we are taking donations. Class is free. There is no obligation to give, but if the spirit moves you, the Halloween spirit, we can help you out with that donation.
Right. Do you have to say trick or treat before somebody leaves the donation?
No, but now that you've said that, now I might bring candy.
Oh, I didn't even mean to imply that, but
I know, but now I want to. Now I want to, so I might have to go out and go get some candy. So maybe there will be a little extra trick or treat there for us.
All right, so we are talking with Kate Casey about Cats on Mats. It is Wednesday, October 18th, 6:00 p.m. at the Manitowoc Public Library. This is a free event, but registration is required. It opens this Friday, October 6th at 5 p.m. The spaces do fill up quickly, so if you're interested, definitely set a reminder to yourself or mark it on your calendar to follow through. This is a collaboration with Lakeshore Humane Society. There will be live cats filling the room and all of the unexpected fun that happens. And it will have a Halloween theme with some sort of Halloween-centered poses. Kate, it sounds delightful.
Hold on. I think BB wants to say goodbye. She's screaming.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear her.
Hold on.
Let me go get her. All right.
All right.
Here she is. She wants to make sure she says goodbye.
Hey, beautiful kitty. Thanks for joining us. My guest today, Kate Casey and the beautiful BB. I'm your host, Tina Prigge. You've been watching Coffee on the Coast. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks.